everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Progressive Rock and Metal Album Review Series. And today I'm going to be taking a look at a one and done supergroup that featured some of the biggest and most important names from the progressive rock genre. And in their short existence, this band put out one studio album that was released in 2018 on Inside Out Music, and it's a double album, and it's self-titled, and it's from a band that, quite frankly, in my opinion, needs no introduction whatsoever. I am talking about, of course, the one and only The Sea Within. So, The Sea Within was a progressive rock supergroup comprised of Roine Stolt from the Flower Kings, Kaipa and Transatlantic, Jonas Reingold from the Flower Kings, Karmakanic and the Tangents, Daniel Gildenlow from Pain of Salvation, Tom Brislin from Renaissance, Spiraling, Yes Symphony, and Deborah Harry, and Marco Minnemann from the Aristocrats, UK, Stephen Wilson, and Joe Satriani. So when you put all of those amazing pedigrees together in one band, what you've got is a true supergroup which is loaded with tons of talent and star power. And when you've got a band like this, full of talented musicians, you know you're going to get something very special. And even though The Sea Within was a short lived project, it was more or less a one and done type thing, they didn't disappoint. This is a band of musicians who don't mess about. They are the real deal. And between them, these incredible musicians have seen it all, done it all, played and collaborated with just about everyone, including with each other. So these guys are no strangers to one another. They've played together in a number of different situations. So expectations were very high. And of course, you know, the music is, of course, going to be epic. And that's exactly what it is, epic. And a lot of the music for The Sea Within is very cinematic heavy. So it sounds like music that you would hear in a movie. And it ranges from a number of styles, from progressive rock to art rock to pop. You name it, it's all here. And what more can you say? The Sea Within were just an incredible band, and I would have loved to have seen this band stay together for a little bit longer, maybe put out a follow up, because when you've got a band that is loaded with so much talent, quite like this, you know these guys are going to deliver. And this is a band of guys who have made a huge reputation of delivering the goods, and that's exactly what the Sea Within do here. And of course, unfortunately, like with all supergroups, as we've seen in history, this was not meant to last. But what we did get from this amazing band was a great modern prog rock masterpiece. So let's have a quick look, shall we? So there is the guys. And as you can see, it's a double album. That is an awesome album cover. And then when you open it up, as you can see, it's quite a cool picture. So there is the lyrics, and there's Roine Stolt, and there's more lyrics, and there's Daniel Gildenlow. And there's more lyrics here, and there's Tom Brislin. And there's more lyrics here, and there's Jonas Reingold, a fantastic bass player. And of course, we've got more lyrics, and last but not surely least, the amazing Marco Minnemann, who is, in my opinion, one of the greatest drummers in the world right now. And there's a full shot of the band, The Sea Within themselves. And then we've got more lyrics here. And we've got more lyrics here as well. And we've got some more lyrics here. and a couple of the guys chilling out. And there's the guys putting together the album in the studio. And we've got a list of who's in the band and who plays what. Now, of course, we've got a true supergroup, as I mentioned already. So we've got Roine Stolt on electric and acoustic guitars, vocals, and orchestral effects. Daniel Gildenlow on lead vocals and guitar. Tom Brislin on piano, organ, keyboards, and vocals. Jonas Reingold on bass, and Marco Minnemann on drums, vocals, and guitar. And of course, we've got some very special, notable guest appearances. We've got John Anderson on vocals from Yes, Casey McPherson from Flying Colours on vocals, Jordan Rudess on piano from Dream Theater, and Rob Townsend on saxophone from Steve Hackett. So not only have you got The Sea Within, which is loaded with star power, but you've also got some excellent guest appearances from the prog rock genre. So it doesn't get any better than that. So a lot of the compositions are all written and composed by the whole band. And as you expect, the quality is just absolutely amazing. So as I mentioned already, The Sea Within is a double album. So on disc one, we've got Ashes of Dawn, which is an excellent opener, and all five musicians are on fire, and it's got a great sax solo from Rob Townsend. And then we've got They Know My Name, which is excellent. The Void is a great track as well. An Eye for an Eye for an Eye is excellent. Goodbye, which is one of my favourite tracks from the first disc. And then we got See Without, which is great. And then we got the 14-minute epic Broken Chord, which is just absolutely epic. And then we've got The Hiding of Truth, which is brilliant. And then on disc two, which is like 26 minutes of music, we've got The Roaring Silence, which is great. Where Are You Going is great. Time is great. And then we've got Denise, which is great as well. But the whole album, from top to bottom, is just absolutely excellent. Roine Stolt is just really going for it on the guitars, and he really gives it that Flower King sort of feel to the music. Jonas Reingold, what more can you say? One of the greatest bass players in the world, and he just really makes the music sound more thick and meaty. Daniel Gildenlow, what a badass musician. He's on fire, both vocally and musically. Tom Brislin, he's just an incredible keyboard player. He really gives it that classic prog rock, old school style of sound. And of course, Marco Minnemann, he's just an absolute monster on the drums. He just really gives the band and the music a muscular sound. And the guest appearances as well are equally as impressive as you'd expect. And the standout tracks for me on disc one are Ashes of Dawn, Goodbye, Broken Chord, and The Hiding of Truth. And the standout tracks for me on disc two are The Roaring Silence, Time, and Denise. But tremendous stuff from top to bottom. I love disc one, but I think disc two might be just a little bit better. I don't know why, but I just think the music on disc two is just probably a little bit better. But I enjoyed all of it from start to finish. Both discs are excellent. Maybe disc two is just a little bit better, but above all else, when you've got these guys, Roine Stolt, Jonas Reingold, Daniel Gildenlow, Tom Brislin, and Marco Minnemann, alongside John Anderson, Casey McPherson, Rob Townsend, and Jordan Rudess, you've got here, as I mentioned already, a true modern prog rock masterpiece. Absolutely loved this album. Such a shame this was the only album that this band put out. I believe they did a couple of special shows on Cruise to the Edge, but unfortunately Gildenlow wasn't part of those shows. It was Casey McPherson, and I believe for some dates we also had Pete Travaios from Transatlantic and Marillion stepping in for Jonas Reingold. So not entirely sure what was going on behind the scenes. Maybe it was scheduling, Who knows, really? But such a shame that The Sea Within only put out one studio album. Would have liked to have had at least a live album, but it is what it is. But what we have got here is a fantastic album, and who knows, maybe one day The Sea Within will get back together and put out a follow up album, which I think would be really cool. So there you have it, The Sea Within, the band's self titled album, an excellent album and one of the best prog rock albums I've heard in quite a while. So glad I finally got to sit down and listen to this all the way through, and I loved what I heard. So there you have it, The Sea Within, excellent album from a one and done progressive rock supergroup. Love it. So that's going to be it from me. I am going to wrap this up now. What's your favourite track from The Sea Within Disc 1? Is it Ashes of Dawn, They Know My Name, The Void, An Eye for an Eye for an Eye, Goodbye, Sea Without, Broken Chord, or The Hiding of Truth? Or on Disc 2, The Roaring Silence, Where Are You Going, Time, and Denise? There's no right or wrong answer. We all have our favourite tracks. You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Progressive Rock and Metal album review series. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.